It's the final edition of AfricaTech for 2016. In 2015 and the first half of this year, the performance of Nigeria's telecom sector was marked by steady subscriber growth, a renewed regulatory mandate, and continued infrastructure developments. According to the Federal Telecoms Regulator, by July 2016, the country was home to 150.3 million active telecom subscribers. This user base represents 81.7% of the total population of 184 million in 2016, with the mobile segment accounted for more than 99% of subscriptions. But along the line, the Nigerian Telecommunications Commission, or Nigerian Communications Commission, I should say, gave directive to introduce price floor for data segment of the telecommunications sector beginning from December 1st, 2016, which was later suspended following the Senate order to stop the increment as well as the public outcry that greeted the planned action. So let's bring in an expert now, the co-founder, Tech Cabal, Bankole Oluwafemi. He answers our questions today. Bankole, it's great to have you again on AfricaTech.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
What is the expectation as we look forward to next year as regards data floor pricing?
We're hoping that, in the NCC in its private study of the situation, and also the Nigerian Senate and regulators in their own assessment of the situation, we'll know that it makes more sense to allow the market to determine the prices and not try to impose artificial pricing, because we know that putting barriers to access in terms of the expense and making it more expensive is going to hamper the adoption of technology, and that means that it's going to make it harder for people to consume technology. It also means that the people that create technology, whether it's software or services or even hardware, will have a harder time distributing this to the people that they're trying to get it across to, that is Nigerians.
So who really gains, from this, Oluwafemi? Who gains from this? I mean, if you have, if the number of people who use, who have access to data has increased, and at the end of the day, you want to introduce a floor price floor for data use, who at the end of the day benefits from this?
So obviously, if the internet is cheap and is easy to access, the benefits is for everyone. The consumers stand to benefit because they can access digital goods and services that have become pervasive and necessary to their lives. The people that create these services also stand to benefit because it means that business gets bigger, and we know that as internet penetration goes up, we know that it also directly impacts GDP, which also means that the government benefits in terms of just increasing its economic activity. But when you artificially impose prices, then the only people that benefit from that are obviously the telcos and maybe the regulators who are going to get license fees from them, and there is a net loss to the consumers, and long term there's going to be a loss to the economy, because when you slow down that pace of activity in a sector that we know that is growing year on year in digits, that's a problem. And we're basically rubbing Peter to not just people, but we're also like shooting ourselves in the foot.
If we're looking back now as we end the year, how much progress do you think the tech industry has made in 2016?
Significant amounts, I would say, in spite of a recession that has, obviously affected every sector across the country. And, when you look at it in practical terms, what the impact is for startups, it means that it's made the investment climate a bit more, a bit colder than it would have been had that not happened. It also means that for people whose costs are in dollars, that is people who are using infrastructure that they procure from abroad, it makes things a bit more difficult because it means that their costs go up. But there's also been a benefit to some of the things that we have faced in the past year, and it also means that the fact that people are now beginning to try and earn in dollars means that we're beginning to see more software exports. We're also beginning to see more people who would have consumed technology from abroad begin to look inward for local solutions. And there have been a number of interesting developments, not just in Nigeria, across the continent, that point to a positive, things moving in a positive direction. And not just e-commerce now, we're looking at fintech, financial technology is becoming pervasive, and people are beginning to figure out ways to, deploy technology that allows people to transact business and conduct transactions both electronically.
Oluwafemi, I think we should stop here. For some reason, technology is beginning to kick back against this interview. We don't want that to happen. Thanks a lot for joining us on Africa Tech. We hope to see you in the new year.
Sure.